The courtroom is quiet this morning, the kind of stillness that settles over Providence Municipal Court between the usual parade of parking tickets and minor violations. Judge Frank Caprio sits at the bench, flipping through a thin case file with his reading glasses perched on his nose. His clerk calls the next case, and the wooden door at the back of the courtroom swings open with a soft creak. A teenage girl walks in alone. She can't be more than 17. Her dark hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she's wearing an oversized sweatshirt that looks like it might have belonged to someone else first. Her jeans are faded, and her sneakers are worn at the edges. She carries a backpack over one shoulder, the kind students drag to school every day, but something about the way she moves slowly, carefully, like she's trying not to take up too much space makes Judge Caprio pause. He watches her approach the podium. She doesn't look up. Her eyes stay fixed on the floor, and her hands grip the straps of her backpack tightly, knuckles white. There's no parent with her. No guardian. No lawyer. Just this girl, standing alone in front of a judge, in a room that suddenly feels far too big for her. Caprio glances down at the file again. The citation is for an expired vehicle registration. The car in question is a 2004 Honda Civic. The fine is $150. On paper, it's routine. But Caprio has been doing this long enough to know that routine cases don't always tell routine stories. He leans forward slightly, his voice gentle. Good morning. What's your name, sweetheart? The girl shifts her weight from one foot to the other. Her voice comes out barely above a whisper. Emma. Emma Torres. Emma, Caprio repeats, nodding as if he's committing it to memory. And how old are you, Emma? 17. Caprio's eyebrows lift just slightly. He sets the file down and removes his glasses, folding them carefully on the bench. 17. Okay. And where are your parents today? Emma's jaw tightens. She doesn't answer right away, and the silence stretches long enough that the court reporter glances up from her machine. Finally, Emma clears her throat. My mom couldn't come. Is she working? Caprio asks, his tone still soft, still patient. Emma nods quickly. Yeah. She works 2 jobs. Caprio nods slowly, understanding. And your father? Emma's face goes blank. She looks down at her hands. He's not around. Caprio doesn't push. He just nods again, letting the answer sit. He's heard variations of this story 100 times, maybe 1,000. But every time, it lands the same way: heavy, real, human. He leans back in his chair, folding his hands over the file. All right, Emma. So tell me, this car. The Honda. Is it yours? Emma shakes her head. No. It's my mom's. Your mom's car, Caprio repeats. But you were driving it? Yes, sir. And you got pulled over because the registration was expired? Yes, sir. Caprio studies her for a moment. She's still not looking at him. Her shoulders are hunched, like she's bracing for something. He taps the file lightly with one finger. Emma, do you have a license? She hesitates. Then, quietly, yes. You do? I just got it. Like, 2 months ago. Caprio's expression softens even more. Okay. So you're a new driver. That's a big responsibility. And you're helping your mom out by driving her car? Emma nods, and for the first time, she looks up just briefly before her eyes drop again. She needed me to. She couldn't do it anymore. Caprio pauses. There's something in the way she said that. Couldn't do it anymore. The words hang in the air, and he feels the shift, the sense that this case is about to become something more than a traffic citation. He leans forward again, his voice even gentler now. What do you mean, she couldn't do it anymore? Emma's lips pressed together. She blinks hard, once, twice. Her hands tighten on the backpack straps. She's tired. She works a lot. Caprio nods slowly. He doesn't say anything yet. He's learned, over decades on this bench, that sometimes the best thing you can do is wait. Give people space. Let them find their own words. So he waits. And Emma stands there, silent, trembling just slightly, holding on to something she isn't ready to say. Judge Caprio lets the silence settle for a moment longer, then he picks up a pen and taps it lightly against the edge of the bench. It's not impatience, it's rhythm, a way of filling the space without pressure. He's done this so many times, this delicate dance of drawing people out without pushing too hard. He looks at Emma again, and his voice is warm, almost grandfatherly. Emma, I'm not here to give you a hard time. I want to understand what's going on. You're 17 years old, standing in my courtroom by yourself, and you're telling me your mom couldn't come because she's working 2 jobs. That tells me something right there, tells me you're carrying a lot. So I'm gonna ask you again, and I want you to talk to me, okay? What's going on at home? Emma's throat works as she swallows. She shifts her weight again, and for a second it looks like she might bolt, just turn around and walk out. But she doesn't. She stays. Her voice comes out tight, strained. My mom, she's sick. Caprio's pen stops tapping. Sick how? Emma's eyes glisten. She blinks rapidly, fighting it. She has lupus. And some other stuff. The doctors keep adding things. She's in pain all the time. Caprio's face shifts just slightly, but anyone who knows him can see it. The softness in his eyes deepens. He nods slowly. Lupus. That's serious. I'm sorry to hear that, Emma. That's a tough thing for anyone to deal with, especially a mom who's trying to work and take care of her family. Emma nods, still not trusting her voice. Caprio continues, his tone careful. So your mom is sick, she's working 2 jobs, and you're helping by driving the car. Is that right? Yes, sir. Where do you drive her? To work. To her doctor's appointments. Sometimes to the pharmacy. Emma pauses, then adds quietly, and I drive my little brother to school. Caprio's eyebrows lift. You have a little brother? He's 9. 9 years old. And you're getting him to school every day? Yes, sir. My mom can't always get up in the morning. The pain is worse when she wakes up. So I make him breakfast, I get him dressed, and I drive him. The courtroom is absolutely silent now. Even the clerk has stopped typing. Caprio sits back in his chair, and for a moment he just looks at this girl, the 17-year-old kid who's acting like a parent, like a caretaker, like someone twice her age. He exhales slowly. Emma, how long have you been doing this? Since the summer. When she got diagnosed. It got bad after that. And you're still in school? Yes, sir. I'm a senior. Caprio nods, his lips pressing into a thin line. What time do you get up in the morning? Emma hesitates. Around 5:30. 5:30, Caprio repeats. So you're up before dawn, you're taking care of your brother, you're driving your mom, and then you're going to school. What time do you get home? It depends. If my mom needs the car, I take the bus. Sometimes I'm home by 4. Sometimes later. And then? Then I help with dinner. And homework. My brother's homework. And then mine. Caprio shakes his head slowly, not in judgment, but in something close to disbelief. Emma, when do you sleep? She shrugs. I don't know. 10. 11. And you're up again at 5:30. Yes, sir. Caprio leans forward, resting his elbows on the bench, his hands clasped together. His voice is quieter now, almost a murmur. Sweetheart, you're running on empty. Emma doesn't respond. She just stands there, shoulders hunched, eyes fixed on the floor again. Caprio watches her, and something in his chest tightens. He's seen a lot in this courtroom: people struggling, people hurting, people doing their best in impossible situations. But there's something about this girl, this kid who's trying so hard to hold everything together, that gets to him. He clears his throat. Emma, tell me about the car. The registration. Why didn't your mom renew it? Emma's voice is barely audible now. She forgot. Or maybe she didn't have the money. I don't know. She's been really out of it lately. The medications make her foggy. And you didn't know it was expired? No, sir. Not until the cop pulled me over. Where were you going? Taking my brother to school. Caprio nods. He picks up the file again, scans it. Officer gave you a ticket. Didn't arrest you, didn't impound the car. You got lucky there. I know. But now you're here, and you owe $150. Emma's face crumples, just for a second, before she pulls it back together. I don't have it. Caprio sets the file down. You don't have it? No, sir. Do you have a job? I work weekends. At a grocery store. But I give most of it to my mom. For bills. Caprio's jaw tightens. He looks down at the bench, at the file, at the girl standing in front of him who's doing everything and still ending up in court because life won't give her a break. He takes a deep breath, then looks back up at her. Emma, who's taking care of you? The question lands like a stone. Emma's lips part, but no sound comes out. Her eyes fill with tears, and this time she can't blink them away fast enough. One spills over, then another. She wipes at her face quickly, almost angrily, like she's embarrassed to be crying in front of a judge, in front of a room full of strangers. Caprio's voice is so soft now it's almost a whisper. It's okay. It's okay, sweetheart. You don't have to hold it together in here. Emma stands at the podium, her shoulders shaking now, and she covers her face with both hands. She's crying not loudly, not dramatically, but in the quiet, broken way of someone who's been holding it in for too long. Judge Caprio doesn't say anything. He just waits. He lets her cry. He's not in a hurry. The courtroom can wait. The docket can wait. This moment matters more. After a long minute, Emma lowers her hands and wipes her face with the sleeve of her sweatshirt. Her voice is thick, choked. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, Caprio says firmly, but kindly. Don't you dare be sorry for feeling something. You're 17 years old and you're carrying the weight of the world. You're allowed to cry. Emma nods, sniffling, still not looking at him. Caprio gives her another moment, then he leans forward again, his hands folded on the bench. Emma, I need you to help me understand something. You're taking care of your mom. You're taking care of your brother. You're going to school. You're working. You're doing all of this. But who's making sure you're okay? Emma shakes her head. I'm fine. Are you? She doesn't answer. Caprio's voice drops even lower. When was the last time someone asked you how you're doing? Emma's face crumples again. She presses her lips together hard, trying to stop it, but it's too late. The tears come again, and this time she doesn't try to hide them. She just stands there, crying, and Caprio watches her with the kind of ache that comes from seeing too much pain, too many broken kids trying to survive on their own. He waits until she's breathing steadier, Then he asks quietly, Emma, do you eat breakfast? She looks up, confused by the question. What? Do you eat breakfast? In the morning, when you're up at 5:30, getting your brother ready, do you eat? Emma hesitates. Sometimes. Sometimes, Caprio repeats. What about lunch? I eat at school. Every day. She shrugs. Mostly. Caprio nods slowly, and his expression is unreadable now, but anyone who knows him can see the storm building behind his eyes. And dinner? I make dinner for my brother and my mom. But do you eat it? Emma's silence is answer enough. Caprio exhales, long and slow. He takes off his glasses and rubs his eyes, and when he looks back at her, there's something raw in his face. Emma, you're starving yourself to keep your family alive. I'm not. Yes, you are. His voice is gentle but unyielding. You're giving everything you have, every single piece of yourself, and you're not leaving anything for you. You're 17. You should be worried about prom and homework and what college you're going to. Instead, you're playing parent, you're playing nurse, and you're standing in my courtroom because life decided to throw one more thing at you. Emma's lips tremble. I don't know what else to do. Caprio's eyes shine. He blinks hard, and when he speaks again, his voice is thick. I know, sweetheart. I know you don't. And that's not your fault. None of this is your fault. Emma breaks then, fully, her whole body shaking with sobs. Caprio motions to his clerk, who quickly grabs a box of tissues and brings them to the podium. Emma takes a handful, pressing them to her face, and Caprio waits again, patient, present, letting her have this moment. When she finally calms down, he asks, Emma, is there anyone helping your family? Any relatives? Friends? Church? Emma shakes her head. My mom's parents are in Puerto Rico. My dad's family doesn't talk to us. We don't really have anyone. What about social services? Are you getting any assistance? My mom applied for disability, but they denied her. She's trying to appeal, but it's taking forever. Caprio nods grimly. He's heard this story before too. The system that's supposed to help, that's supposed to catch people when they fall, somehow always seems to have holes just big enough for people like Emma's mom to slip through. He taps his fingers on the bench, thinking, and then he looks back at her. Emma, I want you to tell me something, and I want you to be honest with me. Are you safe at home? Emma looks startled. What? Are you safe? Is anyone hurting you? Your mom, anyone else? No, Emma says quickly. No, nothing like that. My mom loves us. She's sick. That's all. Caprio nods, relieved. Okay. Okay, good. But I need to ask, are you okay? I mean really okay. Not just physically. Are you holding up? Emma's face twists, and she looks away. I have to be. That's not what I asked. She's silent for a long time. Then, so quietly Caprio has to strain to hear her, she says, I'm really tired. Caprio's heart breaks a little more. I know you are. And I'm scared. Scared of what? Emma's voice cracks. That I'm not doing enough. That something's going to happen to my mom and it'll be my fault because I missed something, or I didn't take her to the doctor fast enough, or I didn't give her the right medicine. And I'm scared that my brother is going to remember this, remember me being angry all the time because I'm so tired, and he's going to think I didn't care about him. And I'm scared that I'm going to fail my classes and not graduate and then I won't be able to help anyone. The words pour out of her now, faster and faster, like a dam breaking. Caprio listens to every single one, and his face is a map of pain, her pain, reflected back. When she finally stops, breathless, he nods slowly. Emma, look at me. She does, her eyes red and swollen. You are doing enough. More than enough. You're doing the work of 3 adults, and you're doing it with grace and love, and your brother is lucky to have you. Your mom is lucky to have you. Do you hear me? Emma nods, tears streaming down her face. But you can't keep doing this alone. You're going to break, sweetheart. And I don't want that for you. Judge Caprio sits back in his chair, his hands resting flat on the bench now, and he looks at Emma Torres for a long, quiet moment. The courtroom feels smaller somehow, more intimate, like the world has narrowed to just the two of them. He glances down at the case file one more time, at the citation for an expired registration, at the fine of $150. Then he looks back up at her, and his voice is steady, deliberate. Emma, I'm going to ask you one more question, and I want you to think carefully before you answer. Can you do that? Emma nods, wiping her face with the crumpled tissue in her hand. If I make you pay this fine, if I tell you that you owe the city of Providence $150, what happens? Emma's face goes pale. She stares at him, and for a second she doesn't say anything. Then, in a voice so small it's almost a whisper, she says, I don't know. Caprio leans forward. You don't know, or you don't want to tell me. Emma's lip trembles. I can't pay it. I know you can't. But what happens if you're supposed to? Emma looks down at her hands. She's gripping the edge of the podium now, her knuckles white. I guess I'd have to take more shifts at work. But I can't, because I have to be home for my brother. So maybe I'd have to ask my mom, but she doesn't have it either. She's already behind on the electric bill. Caprio's jaw tightens. And if she pays this fine, what happens to the electric bill? Emma's voice breaks. I don't know. Maybe they shut it off. And then what? I don't know, Emma says again, louder now, her voice cracking with frustration and fear. I don't know, okay? I don't know what happens. I just know that we can't keep doing this. Every time we get a little bit ahead, something else happens. The car breaks down, or my mom's medicine costs more, or my brother needs new shoes because his feet grew again, and we're back to zero. And now this. And I really tried, but I didn't know the registration was expired, and now I'm here and I don't have the money and I don't know what to do. She's crying again, and this time she doesn't try to stop it. She just lets it come, her whole body shaking with the weight of it all. Caprio watches her, and his own eyes are glassy now. He blinks hard, clears his throat, and when he speaks, his voice is rough with emotion. Emma, how long has it been since your mom was diagnosed? 6 months. Should look like. 6 months, Caprio repeats. And in those 6 months, you've become the parent. The caretaker. The driver. The cook. The protector. You've put your own life on hold to keep your family together. Emma nods, still crying. Caprio shakes his head slowly. That's not fair. It's not fair that you have to do this. It's not fair that your mom is sick. It's not fair that your dad isn't around. It's not fair that the system is failing you. None of this is fair. Emma looks up at him, her face streaked with tears, and for the first time since she walked into the courtroom, there's something like hope in her eyes. So what do I do? Caprio holds her gaze. You keep going. Because you're stronger than you know. But you don't do it alone. Not anymore. Emma's brow furrows. What do you mean? Caprio picks up the file and opens it. He takes a pen and writes something across the front page in bold, deliberate strokes. Then he sets the pen down and looks back at her. Emma, I'm dismissing this fine. You don't owe the city anything. Emma's mouth falls open. What? You heard me. The fine is dismissed. You're free to go. Emma stares at him, stunned, like she's waiting for the catch. But I was driving with an expired registration. Yes, you were. And under normal circumstances, that would mean a fine. But these aren't normal circumstances, are they? Emma shakes her head slowly. Caprio leans forward, his voice firm. Emma, you're not a criminal. You're a kid who's doing her best in an impossible situation. And I'll be damned if I'm going to make that situation worse by taking money you don't have for a mistake you didn't even know you were making. Emma's legs seem to buckle slightly, and she grabs the podium to steady herself. I don't understand. Caprio's expression softens. You don't have to understand. You just have to accept it. The fine is gone. But I'm not done yet. Emma looks up at him, confused. Caprio motions to his clerk. Mary, get me the number for the mayor's office. And call over to social services. I want someone from family assistance here by the end of the day. The clerk nods and starts making notes. Emma watches, bewildered. Judge Caprio, I don't. Hold on, Caprio says, holding up a hand. He looks back at Emma. Your mom applied for disability and got denied, right? Yes, sir. And she's appealing? Yes, sir. Caprio nods. I know a lawyer. Good guy, does a lot of pro bono work. I'm going to have him reach out to your mom and help with the appeal. No charge. Emma's eyes widen. You can do that? I can make a phone call. And I will. Caprio pauses, then continues. I'm also going to make sure someone from the city's family services division gets in touch with you. They can help with food assistance, utility bills, maybe even transportation. It's not everything, but it's something. Emma's voice is shaking now, disbelief and relief crashing into each other. Why are you doing this? Caprio's face softens, and for a moment he looks almost fragile. Because somebody has to. And because you deserve it. You and your mom and your little brother, you deserve help. You deserve a break. And if I can give you that, even just a little bit, then that's what I'm going to do. Emma breaks down completely, her hands covering her face as she sobs. Caprio waits, patient as ever, and when she finally looks up, her face is red and blotchy, but there's something different in her eyes now. Something lighter. Thank you, she whispers. Caprio nods. You're welcome, sweetheart. Now go home. Take care of your family. And take care of yourself too, okay? Emma nods, still crying, and she backs away from the podium, clutching her backpack. She turns to leave, but then she stops and looks back at him. Judge Caprio? Yes. I won't forget this. Caprio smiles, and it's the kind of smile that carries a lifetime of stories. I know you won't. Now go on. Get out of here. Emma walks toward the door, and the entire courtroom watches her go. When the door closes behind her, the room is silent. Caprio sits there for a moment, staring at the empty space where she stood, and he exhales slowly. The courtroom remains still for a long moment after Emma leaves, the kind of silence that settles in when everyone present has just witnessed something they won't soon forget. Judge Caprio sits at the bench, his hands folded in front of him, staring at the door through which Emma disappeared. His clerk, Mary, looks up from her notes, her own eyes a little misty, and she asks quietly, Judge, do you need a minute? Caprio shakes his head slowly, but he doesn't speak right away. He's thinking. He's feeling. He's letting the weight of what just happened sink into his chest the way it always does when a case stops being about the law and becomes about humanity. Finally, he picks up the file, Emma's file, and he holds it in his hands like it's something precious. He looks out at the courtroom, at the few people still seated in the gallery, watching him, waiting to see what he'll say. He clears his throat. You know, I've been doing this job for a long time. 38 years on this bench. I've seen thousands of cases. Tens of thousands. And I'll tell you something, most of them are straightforward. Someone parks in the wrong spot, they get a ticket, they pay the fine, they go home. Simple. Clean. But every once in a while, someone walks through that door and reminds me why I do this. Why I sit here day after day, listening to people's problems, trying to figure out how to help. He pauses, his voice thick with emotion. Emma Torres is 17 years old. 17. And she's living a life that most adults couldn't handle. She's taking care of her sick mother. She's raising her little brother. She's going to school. She's working. And she's doing all of it without complaining, without asking for help, without expecting anyone to notice. She came in here today terrified, thinking she was going to get punished for something that wasn't even her fault. And you know what? She was ready to take that punishment. She was ready to find a way to pay that fine, even though it would mean her family goes without something else. Caprio's voice cracks slightly, and he pauses to collect himself. That's the kind of person Emma is. And that's the kind of person we should all aspire to be. But here's the thing, Emma shouldn't have to be that person. Not yet. Not at 17. She should be worried about prom and college applications and what she's going to do with her friends this weekend. Instead, she's playing parent, and she's doing it alone. He sets the file down and looks directly at the camera in the back of the courtroom, the one that records every session, the one that will eventually carry this story to thousands, maybe millions of people. I dismissed Emma's fine today not because I don't believe in the law. I do. I believe in rules and consequences and accountability. But I also believe in mercy. I believe in compassion. I believe that sometimes, just sometimes, the right thing to do is to look at the person standing in front of you and ask yourself, what can I do to make their life a little bit easier? Emma didn't need a lecture today. She didn't need a fine. She needed someone to see her. To really see her. And to tell her that she's not alone. Caprio's eyes are wet now, and he doesn't try to hide it. He's never been ashamed of emotion, never believed that judges have to be cold or detached. If anything, he's always thought the opposite, that the bench is where humanity matters most. I made some calls today. I reached out to people who can help Emma and her family. Will it solve all their problems? No. Probably not. But it's a start. And sometimes a start is all someone needs to believe that things can get better. He takes a deep breath, then continues. You know, people ask me all the time why I do what I do. Why I take the time to talk to people, to listen to their stories, to go beyond the black and white of the law. And the answer is simple: because they're human. Every single person who walks through that door is a human being with a story, with struggles, with pain and hope and fear all mixed together. And if I can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour to really listen, to really understand, and to help even just a little bit, then that's time well spent. Caprio picks up his pen and taps it lightly on the bench, a habit he's had for years. Emma's case reminded me of something I learned a long time ago from my father. He used to say, Frank, the measure of a society is how it treats its most vulnerable members. And he was right. Emma is vulnerable. Her mother is vulnerable. Her little brother is vulnerable. They're doing everything they can to survive, and they're falling through the cracks. That's not their failure. That's ours. It's our failure as a community, as a system, as human beings, if we let people like Emma struggle alone. He shakes his head, his voice growing stronger. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can do better. We can see people. We can listen. We can help. And that's what I'm asking everyone watching this to do. If you see someone struggling, don't look away. Don't assume someone else will help. You help. You reach out. You ask, what can I do? Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change everything for someone. Caprio pauses, letting the words settle. Then he looks down at the file one more time, and a small, sad smile crosses his face. Emma walked out of here today without a fine. But more than that, she walked out knowing that someone cares. That someone sees her. That someone believes in her. And I really hope that gives her the strength to keep going. Because she's going to need it. Life isn't going to get easier for her overnight. But maybe, just maybe, she'll remember that she's not alone. And maybe that'll be enough. He closes the file and hands it to his clerk. Mary, make sure we follow up on those calls. I want to know that Emma's family is getting the help they need. Yes, Judge, Mary says softly. Caprio nods, then looks back out at the courtroom. Next case. But before the clerk can call the next defendant, Caprio holds up a hand. Actually, hold on. One more thing. He looks directly at the camera again, his expression serious. Emma, if you're watching this later, and I hope you are, I want you to know something. You are stronger than you think. You are braver than you know. And you are loved. Not just by your mom and your brother, but by everyone who hears your story. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. And don't ever think that you're not enough, because you are. You are more than enough. His voice breaks on the last word, and he has to pause, pressing his lips together, blinking hard. He clears his throat, nods to himself, and then says quietly, okay. Next case. The clerk calls the next name, and the courtroom begins to move again, the machinery of justice turning as it always does. But something has shifted in the room. The people in the gallery are quieter, more thoughtful. A few are wiping their eyes. And Judge Caprio sits at the bench, his hands folded, his face a little older and a little softer, carrying the weight of one more story, one more life, one more reminder of why this work matters. Because it's not just about the law. It's never been just about the law. It's about people. It's about mercy. It's about seeing someone who's struggling and deciding, in that moment, that you're going to be the person who helps. That you're going to be the person who cares. And in a world that so often feels cold and indifferent, that decision, that choice to care is everything. Judge Frank Caprio knows that. He's always known it. And today, in his courtroom in Providence, Rhode Island, he reminded everyone watching that mercy isn't weakness. Compassion isn't soft. And sometimes, the most powerful thing a person in authority can do is simply say, I see you. I hear you. And I'm going to help. Emma Torres walked into that courtroom carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. She walked out a little lighter. Not because her problems were solved, they weren't. But because someone saw her. Someone cared. Someone helped. And that, in the end, is what justice should look like.